curious, how are you feeling heading into training camp about where everyone is, body-wise, health-wise, and everything like that?
Really excited. This has been really a long off season for us. 2 years ago it was a short off season, and we went into training camp, and we had really a number of injuries and procedures that was done on our players. Really excited about this season, this off season, and going into the season and starting tomorrow. It's been totally opposite than it was 2 years ago, in the sense that we haven't. Long off season, we talked about the things that we needed to improve on as far as making the roster, making this team better. I thought that we brought on some players that will help us do that, but also our off-season training. We was able to get out with our guys, get our guys back, get our young guys in the gym, and really work on the areas that we feel we needed to improve on. Going into this season, unlike, again, last season, we had our guys in early. We had 10, 12 guys in the month of August, playing, doing some drills as well as 5-on-5. The month of September, we had pretty much all of our guys in playing 5-on-5, which is really exciting for me. Of course, I didn't watch those guys at that time, but for me, it was like having your kids at home, and they're in the backyard playing. That was a positive for us because we feel that our conditioning wasn't where it needed to be last season, and I thought that had a huge impact on us.
Hey, Coach. AJ from Hawks Fan TV. Wanted to ask you, kind of piggyback off that question, a lot of new faces on the roster. So what kind of possibilities and challenges does that present to your coaching staff heading into the season?
Well, again, it's exciting to really, it is a different team in the sense that we do have a lot of new faces, and we have a young group, with the addition of our 2 draft picks and bringing in Aaron Holiday, to our roster. Jalen will, get minutes this year. It's somewhat of a young group, but it's exciting because I really felt that Landry and the organization addressed what we needed to improve and get better. And it's going to be competitive. There won't be anything given to our guys, and you would have to earn it. And I think that makes for a exciting training camp.
Hey, Coach, you talk about new faces coming in. Obviously, that's excitement. You also want to improve this team defensively, and I do want to ask about one particular guy, Onyeka. Thoughts about him, what you look for him this year, another year for him of experience in the league and with this team.
Yeah, I've talked with him really all summer long, and one of the things that we really wanted him to do was play in the summer league and get more time. I wanted to play through him during that time, but that didn't happen in the sense that Jalen had a procedure that really put him down for the entire summer. And those were our 2 young guys that I really wanted to develop in our summer league. But Onyeka has worked all summer long. With our coaches, he's been in Atlanta for most of the summer. And the things that we're talking about with him is, he's done a solid job of just being a solid backup with his play. And I think each year, my 2 years that I've been here, his minutes has increased because of that play. The things that I want him to do is be a better rebounder, be even better at the rebounding. We want to kind of put the ball in our 5-man, their hands, and allow them to play with it. And the guy that I've talked to him a lot about is Bam. I think he and Bam have similar talents in the sense that he can handle the ball, he can shoot the ball. We're not just yet ready to stretch him behind the three, but there'll be opportunities for him to take that mid-range shot, and I want him to look for that. But his ability to handle the ball, I think he does a solid job of defending his position, help position, blocking shots. All of those things are things that we want him to improve.
Coach, DeJounte Murray, obviously a lead defender, and he came here to fulfill a need. Can a player arrive to a team and inspire his teammates to also raise their games to that, almost to that level? And if so, can you pinpoint some examples in your coaching history where you saw that happen?
Absolutely. He has already done that. He has already done that. I invited our team out to Las Vegas to see our draft picks play and to really kind of bond and continue to work on that chemistry. And DeJounte was one of the first guys out there. He was one of the first guys at the meeting. And our conversations have gone like, Coach, whatever you need, I'm here to do it. And he's looking forward. He's really excited to come and be a part of this organization. Just 3 weeks ago, we were sitting in the training room and we was talking, and I asked him about his summer, and he said, I asked him, has he talked to any of the guys, and he said he had just talked to Trey, and Trey asked him to come up to Los Angeles, and he said, I'm in Atlanta, and Trey said, I'll be there. So he has already had that type of impact. And Trey came in early September. He's been playing 5-on-5 with our guys. So he has already had an impact on our team. I'll have to get to know him even more, and that'll start tomorrow when I see him out on the floor and see how he engages with the team. But he has been nothing but a pro with a lot of positive energy this offseason since picking him.
Hey, Coach Raphael from the three-point conversion. We saw DeAndre Hunter break out last year in playoffs. How does his role offensively expand?
Well, I want him to just play. We've talked about that. We know that Trey is in a contract year, and I've talked to him about that. And he's in a good place. He's able to work out. This summer, last year he couldn't. Last year, in the month of August and September, he had a procedure where he couldn't do anything. He's been playing 5-on-5. He looks good mentally. He seems like he's in a really good place, and he's focusing on trying to do whatever it takes to help this team win. And so we've had those conversations about his role this season. It doesn't change. We're going to have to see how things work out. That first unit is going to have to get out there and play, and they're going to have to build that chemistry and learn to play together. And his role will eventually come, and it'll be created through the play of that starting five. So the main thing is he is focusing on trying to help this team win and get better, and he doesn't have concerns about the contract or putting up big numbers. The only big number that he's concerned about is the wins, the winning column.
Coach, when it comes to the preseason travel, how much do you think that will help when it comes to building chemistry, especially between Murray and the rest of the people that have been here for a while?
Yeah, well, we're taking this trip across the ocean, and it's going to Abu Dhabi. That's a long trip. I went to Mumbai when I was in Indiana, and it's a great opportunity for our guys to bond. And we're looking trying to put them in position for that to happen. We're actually going over there a little earlier than Milwaukee. I think Milwaukee is coming over maybe 2 days before the game. We will spend about 9-10 days over there because we want our guys to spend that time together. We will have some of our families to travel with us, but it is an opportunity for the players to bond. Coming back, we only have 4 preseason games, so coming back, we'll have 2 games and we'll have enough time to adjust and get ourselves ready for the regular season. But, I like this trip. It's a great opportunity to really, see another part of the world, and you don't get those opportunities a lot.
Hey, Coach. For a guy like Jalen Johnson, who's kind of finding a little bit of a footing toward the end of last season, I guess what's the expectation for him coming into this season? And do you expect it to be a big training camp battle between maybe him and Mo and Kaminsky to have that backup forward position?
Well, I thought it was really good that Jalen wanted to play in the G League. I think the minutes that he got there really helped him. He walks different now. He seems like he has really matured in a year, in just a year's time. And he knows that he's got to battle and compete for those minutes. All of our guys have to do that. The great thing about having the players that we have at multiple positions, they're going to have to earn it. They'll get an opportunity to compete for those minutes, but they're going to have to earn the minutes that they get out on the floor, and Jalen is ready for that. He wasn't able to do a lot for most of the summer, but the month of August and September, he's been able to play some 5-on-5, and he looks really good. He's excited about the opportunity and the challenge, and I'm sure he's looking forward to getting started tomorrow.
Hey, Coach. Your coaching staff underwent some changes this summer. Christian's gone. One, how do you feel about the new look coaching staff? And then 2, what made you decide to want to bring on Coach Longobardi?
Well, as losing Coach Gent, he had an opportunity that he felt was best for him, and I hated to see him leave, but it gave me an opportunity to go out and search for, again, just as the organization was looking for players, I was looking for a coach that could help us. He has a resume on the defensive end of the floor where he's had a lot of success, and he's coached a lot of successful teams as well as players. And we're talking to a number of coaches around the league that he has worked for, Terrell Thomas, Doc Rivers, a number of those guys, they praised him. And when I had my interview with him and was conversating with him about his approach and his style, both of us see it the same way. He is really focused on the defensive end of the floor. He's excited about the opportunity and the challenge of turning this defense around. And I just like what I heard. I like the things that I saw from him. He has been in from day one, and he has come here, and basically his family is going to stay in Cleveland, and he is throwing everything into the basket to help us turn this defense around, because that's the number one thing that I think we need to improve on, and I'm looking forward to working with him this year.
Coach McMillan, Terrell Thomas, Leeds Urban Times. Two-part question. I wanted to know if you've had a chance yet to sit down with Trae Young and possibly, with there being so many new members on this roster, kind of speak with him as far as your expectations from a leadership standpoint, and then from yourself. Are there any goals that you set throughout the season for yourself and where you like to see improvement?
Yeah, well, as I mentioned, back in June, I went to talk with Trey. this was before really, it was early June, before everything really got started as far as selecting players in the draft and what we wanted to do in the free agent market. So I've been in constant contact with Trey and really all of our players, and I had an opportunity to spend a couple of days with Trey when I flew out to Oklahoma City and just talked about this past season and areas that we need to improve on. And one of the big areas that I feel we need to improve on is the connection between the two of us. I think that we need to be better at communicating with each other, and what we want to do and how we want to go about doing it. And his leadership, both on the floor and the locker room, those are things that I talked to him about. It's a situation where he has just inherited this. He's the face of the franchise, and it's just something that he has inherited, and he will have to work at and become better. So yes, we have talked about next season, or at that time we was talking about next season and things that we wanted to do better and improve on, and he has started to do that. We talked about coming out to Vegas and inviting all the players out in Vegas. They also, and Trey set up a time where, as a team, they did some things together. Trey coming back in September is important. We talked about the importance of that his team needed to see him here in Atlanta. And he came back, and he's been back. When we were trying to make the deal for Murray, we was in constant contact because that was a move that he really felt the organization should make, that Murray could help us. And, as I told him, we're bringing in another guard and an all-star guard. So what do you know what that means for you? And what that means is you're going to be playing without the ball more than you probably ever have. And he was really excited about the opportunity to play off the ball, learn to play off the ball, and play with Murray. So yes, we've been in constant conversation about the season, upcoming season, expectations, and our goals.
Nate, I know that